Well, they imagine all the people, that was the second one, so yes, they are playing a loop. This is a loop. Because I was waiting for the next one to see if it was Imagine, and it is. So I'm living for the second time, experience by experience, with the sunset. The same songs, different experiences, but knowing what I was experiencing before, I'm sharing it on another video, and now it's the second one in a loop. And yeah, so I can find the other text when I know which song it was. And how would I know it? When I decided, I went to speak with the camera while waiting for the drink, and that was the explanation of everything. So I decided to go to the camera, and then the woman, because she was waiting, and it was getting longer and longer and longer. So I think just listening to this song, I went to send this message in Spanish. So now I'm doing the same thing in English. So, and then I can see when the woman brought the drink, and the message was, I think before I got the drink, I was sending the message, and then another one that it was much longer after getting the drink. And then I sit down here, and then I was there, here and there, and then I decided that this is much better. Way better. It's even prettier. The other one is the type of the things that I do when I want to do something about nature, but how different is the composition when it's not just about nature, but also about the wonderful combination of not only nature, but also just at the limit. And now something like that. Yeah, so it's less beautiful, I think, from the director of photography perspective, but now it is telling much more part of the story, because before it was just the sunset alone. I was not there. Shit, I was scratching my ear and it was a mosquito. One mosquito less, but I put mosquito repellent everywhere, and I have long sleeve, I have long trousers, I have socks, I have trainers, so I am like I brought the armor today. And then I put the mosquito repellent in my hands, my ears, my face, but I just killed one in my ear. So we have to work on mosquito repellent, or maybe we have to teach people how to put it on your ears, because I was thinking the light is amazing, but it's because there are two lights. There's one yellow light. Oh, so cool. Yeah. And she's not on the video, but she was hot. And the fucking mosquitoes. I'm getting hungry. If this guy doesn't arrive, God, but I wanted to tell him, hey man, have you been sleeping under the bar or a tree or something, and the branch was giving you the shadow? Oh, the colors are so beautiful. There is nothing here. It's like something like that. No. If I do it like, the color is almost like that, but with more light. It's that saturation, but more light. And here is losing saturation. That's the problem. Why don't they make a camera that you don't need to increase the contrast and to underexpose in order to saturate the colors? Because it also happened with when it was filmed. So it's not a matter of the of the sensor, and my sensor is, I don't know the word. Oh, what is the word? Yeah, my sensor is doing whatever it wants to do. It's being temperamental, is that the word? I'm not sure. Temperamental. Well, I'm getting hungry. And there is a sexy woman behind me, but she's too young. But she's wearing bikini with all these mosquitoes. And she's starting scratching now, but tomorrow she's gonna have like 20 mosquito bites. What is she doing? It looks like a commercial. Somebody's filming her. She's sexy. She's in bikini. Sunset. It makes no sense, right? But she's in bikini. So tomorrow, no mosquito bites. So that's the best anti-mosquitoes commercial. Yes. The best anti-mosquitoes commercial. Yeah. I think everybody in Netherlands would understand it as well. Yeah, but look, it feels great. And the guy is coming. Let's see if there is eye contact. Because before I was here, I was having a great time observing things, and well, he was part of one of the stories about the positive things of what I didn't see the other day, that they were not negative, it was like neutral. I said, he looks like having a lot of fun, but I don't get it, because sometimes something sounded offensive. Yeah, I was talking about this, but in Spanish before. And instead of criticizing it, I just easily found a way of explaining how positive everything was. And in Spanish was more difficult, because gay was one of the concepts, and gay means homosexual, but also means happy. So in English it's easy to explain. But in Spanish, gay only means homosexual, nothing else. They have no idea that happy is also that word. So I had to... So it's another chance to do something, to play with concepts, because you can split it and then give access to another world about the positive things like happy. But in English it's the same word. I don't know if it works the same way. I don't know if it feels the same way, but it doesn't matter. I think you can also do it that way, but I don't know, because I did it in Spanish. I would have to create it in English, and let's see if it works, but I don't know. I cannot make it right now. I cannot do the English version of what I'm talking about, the Spanish version. And now, yeah, he was walking like a paralyzed brain person, or handicapped, or a combination, and gay, and then dancing like ballerina, happy on the rocks, not falling. That was amazing, because it was a very slippery rocks, and he was dancing and jumping and running from one to the other. And I don't know why he's so burnt. You are very burnt.
Burnt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got very burnt in the past, yeah.
It looks like you were sleeping under a bar, because you have a white bar here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's red. When I saw you in the distance, when I say close, I don't say so well.
All of this
It's
has
like
come off.
here,
Yeah,
then white, and then here. But in the other one, the same thing.
yeah. I had a blister that was all through here, and I had to, one day I walked all the beach round the next beach to the peninsula, but then the blisters were this big, and I've had to have antibiotics. Now the skin has fallen off, so this is now recovered.
It's not new, you had it worse.
Yeah, this is 10 days later. It was really bad. But the rest
I saw you here 3 or 4 days. The day I arrived,
yeah.
I saw you here, and you were running on top of the rock, very happy.
Yeah.
And you didn't look like today. Today you look worse.
Yeah, but I think the skin has come away, so now it's showing red. Before the skin was all loose. Yeah, it's a problem, big problem. It was stupid. I put sunscreen on, but because I was going in and out of the water, I didn't do my calf, my leg. But you've got a good colour. You haven't got burnt.
Yeah, I am very careful.
Yeah.
I am most of the day like this.
Yeah.
Now I'm because of the mosquitoes.
Yeah, the mosquitoes bad.
Yeah. So during the day I was wearing always long sleeve.
Yeah.
When I go to the beach, I am in the shade.
Yeah.
And I snorkel a lot. So I put cream. And sometimes I use.
I was snorkeling with this today.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a problem. I got terribly burnt. It was stupid. But it meant 10 days not on the water because of it. Was that bad?
Yeah. It happened to me in Cuba in '92.
Cuba, I got terribly burnt. I was like a lobster in Cuba.
So I learned there. When I was there in '92,
I know.
I learned that and never again.
Yeah.
And I had to wear a t-shirt since that moment the rest of my holidays.
The pain on that Cuban beach.
Yeah, and I had 1,000 blisters.
Oh, did you have blisters?
Yeah, blisters,
Okay.
1,000. So it feels like needles. And in Cuba, there is nothing in the pharmacy.
No.
For anything you have, they have the same cream. It's a ungüento, this, for you. Where are you from?
From England, but when I was in Cuba, I went this colour all over, but I didn't have the blisters. But it was painful to walk because I went a day with no sunscreen on the beach. I was
Oh.
wandering around. Cuba's strong.
Yeah, very. That's like here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very strong. I was saying the other day, I love the beach, I love the
Yeah.
ocean, I'm a scuba diver, and I came for snorkeling and scuba diving, and beautiful beaches, but if there is no shade, for me it's worse than hell.
Yeah, I know.
It's
true.
beautiful, but I say, even
know.
if somebody pay me, I was filming a video for my family, I
Yeah.
say, even if you pay me, I don't stay here.
No.
It's wonderful, it's for you it's better, you enjoy it more than me.
Yeah.
Because if you pay me, I don't stay here.
No, I totally agree. Whereabouts are you from? Which part?
I'm from Spain.
Whereabouts in Spain?
Many different places. I was
okay.
born in the north,
Okay.
lived in Madrid most of my years,
Yeah.
Alicante, United States, London,
Oh, wow.
and Gran Canaria.
Oh, wow. What a...
So now I come from Canary Islands.
Oh, lovely. Brilliant.
Yeah, so I'm not running away from the winter time.
But it's quite good there now.
It's good, so I'm not running. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect. I went there because of the weather. They have the best weather in the world.
Yes.
But in here, in the winter time, it's almost as good as there in the winter time. But the summertime here is horrible.
Oh, yeah.
With all the rain, all these things. So Canary Islands weather is the best because it's not so different.
Yeah, yes.
In here it's extreme
Yeah,
hot, extreme rain, extreme.
Yeah,
It's never too cold, okay, but sometimes extreme in everything. In
Yeah.
there, it can be cold,
Yeah.
but never too cold.
No.
The coldest in my town, 13 degrees, the coldest.
Wow.
The coldest.
Wow.
And that's during the night.
Yeah.
During the day, 25, 26.
Brilliant.
So I go to the beach any time of the year.
Brilliant. And is the cost of living very expensive?
No, much cheaper than Madrid.
Oh, okay.
More expensive than some towns in mainland Spain.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
of course, probably half than Madrid.
Yeah. No, that's good to know. Because it was either going there or coming here, my holiday. I had a month. But I wasn't sure on how much it would be the cost of living for 1 month.
Well, the accommodation, you can find it. You found it here on booking.com?
I didn't. I just pitched up. I haven't used the internet yet. I've just asked places.
Yeah, you ask.
Yeah.
You fly there and then you start asking.
Asking. But I made a mistake. In the past, I've always done this. But here, everywhere is getting full. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a problem. I think I'll need to change my strategy for the future.
Yeah, I've been doing it with booking.com all the time. Since I've been traveling 3 months already.
Oh, good.
And 1 month
Oh,
more
lovely. Oh, that's
to go. And I just came back now from paying the ferry to go to Pipi.
Okay, to do some...
I'm going to stay there for 2 days. And people said, don't go to Pipi, it's very touristic.
Yeah.
So I'm not going there, I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
I'm not just like a
No,
visit.
and then
They
you
say,
can
don't go
see
there
some
like a
place.
visit. Okay, I'm not going to be on an excursion,
Yeah.
I'm going to stay. Why? Because I will have part of the island before the tourists come
Yes,
and
yes.
after they leave.
Yes.
So, because I'm a photographer, I like to do videos and photography.
Brilliant.
And
gonna
people
have
say, it's very touristic. And I say, yeah, but I can wake up early and do something in the afternoon.
Yeah.
All the tourists are gone.
Yeah. That is brilliant. So you do diving photography as well?
Videography, but not professionally, but I have many cool videos on the water, but I haven't brought anything here because traveling for months.
Yeah. And also very expensive equipment.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get it damaged.
Yeah.
I like scuba as well. The last time I was diving off the Galapagos Islands.
Galapagos, wow.
That's my last.
And that's one of the most expensive destinations for diving.
But I did it so cheap. I was stayed on the Galapagos for 18 days, and it cost me the same as if I was staying in the mainland, because I would eat what the locals were eating, and then I would hear that there was a dive and sort of tag on and pay my day fee. Yeah, but yeah, very good experience. But too many people live on the island now. There were over 30,000 locals living there, so the nature is getting destroyed, and that was sad. If you look at the markets where all the fish that they're eating, I think a lot of these fish I'd love to see in the water. Beautiful, beautiful big fish.
That's nature, but everything about nature, what you were describing, you can transport anywhere.
I know.
To the Amazon,
I know.
Amazon to the North Pole, everywhere.
Everywhere.
But also in the artificial human world,
Yeah.
they destroy the identity of the countries.
Yeah.
You go to any capital and it's the same.
The same. I
Same
know.
smell, same people, same clothes, same everything, same
know.
music, nothing.
It's sad.
I used to go to London in the 90s
Yeah.
to buy records to Carnaby Street,
Yeah.
and now you can see Zara, H&M, all these shops for clothes, cheap
Yeah.
fashion clothes.
It's so sad. I love it when you go to a country and you experience the country and it's all different.
Nothing, no anymore,
Yeah.
no anymore.
I hate to see McDonald's in Bangkok. I saw that. Just thought, such a shame. The food
Yeah,
is so
but
good.
McDonald's is you know that Big Mac
Yeah.
is the reference in economic terms
Yes.
to know the price of the things
Yes.
everywhere in the world.
Yes. Yes.
So they use that because it's the most sold in many more countries.
Yep. And in the England, we used to use the Mars bar. If you could see, which is the
Mars bar, yeah.
bar, how many Mars bars you could buy with your annual wage, and you can work out if people are better off now or in the past, and they're not better off now. They're not.
No.
There's not as much disposable income.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, it's getting worse.
and the energy problem. So it's good to be here. We don't have to worry about things.
The energy, they're gonna solve it sooner or later.
Yeah.
But the other one is going to make it worse
I know.
forever.
I think they'll tap into a lot of wave energy with high tides. They'll be able to get a lot of energy that way. But it'll also silt up areas, change the ecology of the sea. But there's too many of us.
And I think they can, because those are the easy ways
Yeah.
to think. But I'm thinking about getting the energy from here.
Yeah. The solar. Yeah.
No, here.
Oh, the atoms inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From everywhere.
Yeah.
Connecting in some way with that.
Yeah.
And that's where you can get the energy because it is information already.
Yeah.
And I call it energy and information, this connection. And the science is talking now that it's probably the fifth state of the elements. Therefore, solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. A year ago, I read in some German website that the scientists are starting to think that there is a fifth state and they want to call it information. I wrote more than 10 years ago about the energy information. I call it energy information. I have created many words that is for the people to understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because this friction or anything that we cannot even understand is creating energy.
Yeah.
Everything is energy.
Yeah.
The gravity, we don't see it, but it is. There is an energy.
Yeah.
All these things that we don't even know that they exist is this that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, you can go farther as far as you go with tide, but all of them are physical.
Yeah.
My journey is not physical. I don't care where I am.
Yeah.
I told my friends I want to be doing the same thing I'm doing in Canary Islands,
Yeah.
but in a completely different environment with completely different experiences.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing. What I do is I connect with this cloud. This is a cloud
Yeah.
for the people to understand.
Yeah.
You know, because when you are with computer, you understand the cloud very well.
Yeah.
So that's my cloud and it's everyone's cloud.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can all connect here, and some people are connected and they connected, but
Yeah. And
but
others are
nobody's
very
as
not
crazy as
connected.
I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yet it's amazing how you can get invigorated when you're near a waterfall or you are in the nature. It's almost like your cells are zinging.
Yeah,
energy.
one of my rituals, I become part of the ocean. I do it in Canary Islands some years ago because I was born 100 meters from the ocean. So I am a very ocean type of person. But in here, places like here, I don't love the beach so much. I'm a beach obsessed person. In here, I'm running away and enjoying the jungle. And I enjoy a completely different atmosphere. And I enjoy the mountains in my island, in Gran Canaria, which is winter time in there. It was snowing.
Wow.
Last week it was snowing there, and you can go to the beach.
Wow.
It's like 24 degrees difference or something like that.
Didn't know that.
And it's 2,000 meters high. From to zero. So sometimes it's like 24 at the bottom and 0 snowing in the top.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so what I do, I love also the mountains, I love everything, but most of my life since when I connect with the child, when I was 2 weeks old, I was already in the water. because I was born in June. So 2 weeks old, my mother was already putting me there in the water. And I don't remember that, but I remember when I was 4, 5, 6, riding the waves and snorkeling since then. So I connect with that child every time I do this ritual, and I disappear. I leave my body here. I go to Santander. I do that in Canary Islands, not here. Here I do many other different things. And then I leave my body there. I go to Santander as a child, 4 years old, but my body is here. I'm walking, eyes closed, and my body doesn't know where the rest of me is. But my body knows that it has to go into the ocean. And with eyes closed, because I don't want to wake up the body. You know what I mean? So I don't want any stimuli. So once I'm walking, that body is not concerned if somebody passing by is gonna hit me. He's not thinking about anything. He's completely disconnected. And I am in Santander, being the child, connecting myself in the time of line from the past, the present, the future, and that's how you connect with the cloud as well, and you get all this concept. Astral travel. That's what they talk about, but my thing, I never know the words of anything because I've been practicing all these things. When somebody told me about Vipassana meditation, and I said, that's nothing. I can tell you 1,000 million things higher than that. And I went to a Buddhist temple, 2 weeks. I was meditating there in silence, and it was like, what are these people doing? They are following all the protocols that nobody would tell you to follow. Because the protocols are created by one person, for that person, not for the rest of the people. So when somebody's doing like this, and then they are so stupid, the hands have to be like this, and not like this, or not like this, or not like that. But one monk says that, which is ridiculous. But then another monk says something similar thing, but different way. So I say, one of you is wrong, and all of you are wrong, because it's none of that, you know what I mean? So I came out of there so happy, not learning anything, but learning a lot.
I understand.
Because they didn't talk to me at all. They were talking with people who were from Germany because they felt some connection with German people. Well, I said they, but it's only one guy, Hans, that's his name. It's not his name. It's a German name, you know. So he had a Polizei cap, Polizei sweater. So you are making a differentiation between you and the rest in orange. And you are telling me about the material world? Just because that's not expensive, you are doing the same thing as they are doing. And one day, one day he got frustrated and said, okay, first time you showed me that you are materialist. Last day you showed me that you can get easily frustrated. What kind of religion is that? I didn't tell him, of course. But he was frustrated just because in the morning we were going to have breakfast, and he was always telling her, it was a meditation before breakfast, and 3 people, they didn't come.
Because they were meditating since...
No, because they didn't know the schedule, because they were new people, and everything was getting so chaotic that I knew it, because I was before, I came back, and nobody knew anything. And people were having lunch, breakfast outside in another place, paying in a restaurant, and we were having breakfast in the community in there. And we were 3 people and 3 people out. Where are the other 3? They're having breakfast, blah, 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 blah. He said, tomorrow I'm not coming, I have better things to do. We are 3 people in there, the other people are not doing it with any intention. And you are getting, I have something better to do. What the fuck? So the first day, and that was not the last, but at that moment I thought, these people need a lot of meditation.
Need to keep working on it.
It was unbelievable. And then they are so superior to me because I am Western, and I don't talk to them about anything, so they have no idea where I am, how I feel, and what I see. And they are so proud of themselves, and they say, yeah, maybe in 5 years you get to learn something. Okay, they thought I was younger than I was as well, so since I am 5, I'm in this world. In this world connecting these things, since I am 5. When I was 7, I started meditating, and it was not Buddhist, it was a freestyle mind control. But that was not teaching you at all, because that's mind and body, nothing else. You relax mind and body. But then one day, I don't know how, I started getting connected with my feelings and being aware of them. And I remember, I call it the root feeling. I was thinking in Spanish. And
Yeah.
root feeling. Root feeling is when you are aware of something really that you are feeling for real. I'm gonna give you an example. I opened the fridge. I was 11 years old, 11, 12 maximum. I was going to get Coca-Cola. And then I opened the fridge. There was no Coca-Cola. I was, addiction of Coca-Cola. I had no idea what addiction was. I was 11 or 12. But imagine opening wanting Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola is not there. You felt something like that before? I don't know, smoking, cigarettes or whatever, I don't know. I don't smoke.
No, I didn't.
So I only felt it that day. That was my root feeling of addiction. But I didn't know what addiction was. I know how I felt.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to feel like this.
No.
I closed the fridge and didn't drink Coca-Cola in months,
Yeah.
And
You
I
realised-
never felt addiction because when I feel something like that, in any, you are connected with that root feeling, and you say, I don't want this. And it could be with a girlfriend, it can be with a car, it can be with anything. You know what I mean? And then there is envy, and then there is a jealousy. All these feelings that they are root feelings. When you are aware, they are helping you to be happier when you are an adult.
Yeah.
Because you know how it feels, and it's the root feeling, and you connect and say, hey, this thing is taking me to that thing that I feel really, really deep and high, and that's what Buddhism doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to travel the world and see all these different things.
Yes, the only reason I came here was for scuba diving and meditating, but knowing that I was going to be on a higher level. And I was meditating the first part of my trip and scuba diving in the second. And I had the same experience. Meditating, because this story that I told you with the monk, I had exactly the same story with the diving center. The same concept. That I just linking it now when I'm telling you, because I experienced it before, but I'm aware now while I'm telling you. That is the same concept, because they treated me like a new person as well, because I went fun dive, fun dive? And I am a dive master. I've been scuba diving for 25 years and I have more than 500 dives.
500, that's good.
Yeah. So
They didn't know that.
they didn't know. And I didn't say this or that. I just said, they know that I am a master diver. They don't know how many dives, but you must think already that I have some experience, right?
Yeah. At least over 100.
At least. And then they were treating me like stupid, like completely stupid about everything from the beginning. And I couldn't go deeper than 20 meters because I was going with other people who were open water and they cannot go deeper than 18. And I said, this is not what we will talk about. Because I asked you before if I'm going to have a dive body, and you said yes. So they were cheating me.
Yeah. Should have been somebody who would have gone deeper.
And it was like the meditation thing. You see, I am meditating since I'm 7, I'm scuba diving since 25 years, and they were still treating me because they have no idea, because I don't have to tell them where I am and who I am. They should be, they are honest with the company, and both are companies, the temple and the diving center. If you are honest with yourself and with the company, you shouldn't be charging me if I'm not going to have a real good dive, right? And you should know better what type of person the other person is, and then you're treating the person, the people, the clients, in the right way. Same thing in the temple. They had no idea about anything. They had this big bias, like, oh, I speak more with German people than anybody who's not German. And I'm not, English is not my native language, so I was like a third category person, which was great. You know what I mean? It was great, yeah, because he didn't take me to the forest, so I went to the forest on my own, and everything he was doing for other people, he never did anything for me. But I was feeling like this is a very good part of the exercise I came for. You know what I mean? So if everything was his way, maybe I was following him. I was not be aware of all the situation. So I'm really thankful from the beginning. At the very first moment, I knew this, but only now, speaking with you, I'm connecting the scuba diving situation, which was the same, and I came for these two reasons. And my profile in WhatsApp is me meditating under the water. So I came for meditation in the north to scuba diving here, but 4 years ago I already made this pic of meditating under the water. So everything is connected that way, you know what I mean?
It is special when you're out there. It's very special when you're underwater.
You have the third dimension.
Well, it is special. I was so grateful today when I was snorkeling. I was just everything. I just held onto one of the mounts, and everything was happening around me. And there was one fish that just kept coming back to me, and it was very close. And then it followed me. I went round a bit further, and it had a slight sort of damage on its back, which I could identify. And it was just lovely that it was sort of, it was just with me with the dive. It was sorry, with the snorkel. But it was only messing about. But even the smallest detail, it lifts your spirits. It's really nice. It's very good. I even saw a mantis.
Manta?
Do you know the mantis shrimp?
Yes.
It wasn't,
yes.
maybe a peacock, I'm not sure, but it was blander colour. It was only a small one, maybe a female, but I'd never seen one before. I've only seen them on documentaries, and it was nestled in a rock, and it was just nice to observe.
Yeah, I saw several scuba diving in Kotao.
Lovely.
In Kotao, you have to look at the small things because the visibility is not good. So yeah, you see a fish there, a big fish, yeah, but you don't see it clearly. I was lucky. I saw the whale shark.
Oh, good. Whale sharks are lovely.
Yeah, it was the big one. It was probably 5 meters, less than 5 meters, 4.5, something like that.
Yeah. It's still spectacular.
Yeah, but it came out from a cloud, and it appeared. I saw it, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, turned back, and disappeared again.
That's beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but some people have been sometimes like 10 minutes with it. Because it goes slowly, but this one appeared a little bit fast and disappeared a little bit fast. It was amazing, the majestuosity.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah, majesty is, yeah.
Majesty.
Yeah, majesty is beautiful. How would you say it in Spanish?
Majestuosidad.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I love whale sharks.
Do you speak some Spanish or other language?
Very little, but I should learn more. I've travelled a bit, and more just to survive rather than I should have learned more.
And you travel for work?
Work and for pleasure.
Here is pleasure.
Yes.
And for work, what do you do?
I'm a tree surgeon. But,
At what?
it's hard to describe. I work with forests. I'm a tree surgeon, so people fly me to different countries to fix trees. If there is, let's imagine you've got some trees in the south of France which are non-native and they're causing problems. Then I may come and remove these, or if I'm working in Australia, I'll be removing English trees to try and get the balance back. You know, to try and because I like conservation. And my job is to stop trees falling.
Is there any science talking about that?
Science?
Science?
Well,
Is it biology or is something that is not science and official and you created? Are you the creator of this balance that you are talking about?
Yeah.
You are the creator.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know because that sounds more interesting than if it is a biology thing.
Yeah.
So why?
So let's imagine in the south of France, I went to an area where there were trees that had made the area very acidic.
Very?
Acidic, like acid.
Yeah, acid.
So I took out 2,000 trees, which were not from the area, and then I burnt the branches. The wood I gave free to people who wanted it, but I burnt the ground. And because I burnt the ground, I changed the pH, so it returned back to how it should be, alkaline. And then next year, you should have seen the wildflowers, the orchids, wildflowers I've never seen before. Just an explosion of beautiful, beautiful things.
And then the people also plant some other trees?
Yeah. We planted...
They plant the trees from there?
Yeah, olives, but because of the... it was an olive area, but we planted truffled oaks. So, truffe the chêne. So you dip the oak in truffle fungus, and then you plant it, and then eventually when the tree grows you get the truffle
from the tree,
from the ground, because it has a relationship with the tree. And we planted
and those truffles are normal truffles for food.
Yeah, those expensive things for food.
Yeah.
So we created,
because I know the truffles that they are like magic mushrooms. They also call it truffles.
Oh, okay. These ones are not.
But not the mushrooms. No, they are truffles. These things are truffles. They call it like philosophical stones because they are like stones. Yeah. They look like it's a truffle, but small ones, and they don't taste good.
No, I think these ones were more for the cooking. But yeah, it was good, and it's nice to know that you've brought balance back to an area. Yeah.
So you are a healer.
I like to be, but a lot of my work is destruction. But I want to destroy for the greater good. You know what I mean? I work in a Buddhist, no, it's a Hindu center, a yoga center. I work sorting the trees out because they can't cut them. But I go in and I stop the trees from falling on the buildings, just create more light in areas. Just sort of get the energy right. So I've done that for a while. Worked in many countries. I've been lucky.
How do they find you?
All word of mouth. I don't advertise. And I've had too much work.
Wow.
But I work normal work as well. Like recently, a friend rang and he said, could I fix his orchard? He had a big orchard. And I didn't know how many trees. And I said, yeah, I'll come over. I'll do it for a weekend, thinking maybe he's 40 trees. Because he never talked about his orchard before. Guess how many trees he had? These are big trees, like 40-foot, big trees. They were 40-year-old trees. Guess how many? Like, a lot. 800. But 800 is a lot of trees.
Yeah.
And he said you have a week to do it on your own, to sort all the trees out. And I said, okay, I will do it. And I did it. Before I came here, I sorted 800 trees, all the pruning, putting a big ladder up, going up, coming, and then...
Alone?
Alone.
1,000?
No,
800?
Yeah.
In 1 week, how many per day?
I know. And that wasn't
It's
all.
more than 100 per day.
Yeah, a lot more. And on my last day, because I had done everything, there were a lot of trees which were aspen, which are not from the area, but they spread. There were hundreds, and they were encroaching. So I removed 200 at least, a couple of hundred trees chopped down
it was
as well.
1,000.
Yeah.
What I said?
Yeah. But the other ones were pruning, and these ones were cutting completely, like removing, so felling. And I also did some big trees near the house that were dangerous. So that was
Unbelievable.
So I was ready for a holiday.
I don't know if you are the same guy that I saw the first day. Were you running on top of the rocks and dancing?
Yeah. I was running through, yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, because it looked like very slippery.
Yes.
And I saw you dancing on the rocks.
Well, I was wearing these. And
I was. Now I'm not sure if that was the same guy.
Yeah, I mean, each
But
day
I was
I
in
go
shock
out.
because I was saying, if I do that, I would kill myself.
Yeah.
And I almost did it. I have this spoon,
you
I have two screws here, and it was an accident. I had it on the rocks, so slippery. And when I saw that, I said, how is this possible? Something's wrong here. But before that, you were speaking with someone here, and you were doing something strange. That you were walking like you had some cerebral paralysis. You were like,
Oh, I was being silly. With them. Yeah.
I know. But I was aware of all these things.
Yeah, I was being silly.
All these things. And I was talking about that, and I was thinking about that before. When I saw you now, the first time that you came and you smiled and I smiled, and then you said something to the girl later, and then you left. And when I saw you there, I was thinking that you were the same guy.
I am,
But now, after a long time, the face doesn't look the same.
Okay.
But it was so funny to see that white line
I
here.
know.
That my perception was.
Yeah.
I had many ideas, and one was a crazy, funny idea because I had something similar today in Bamboo Bay.
Yeah.
It was very sunny, very windy,
Yeah.
and I was laying under a tree. But there were a lot of sun rays passing through, and I was imagining that if I branched in there, I would have like
The bamboo,
all
palm lines.
the palm lines, you know. And then I thought maybe you did it with a tree that it had no leaves at all, just with the branch.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the shade of the branch sleeping. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking.
But no, I was running. Well, I passed, so the sun was a directional. So it got me all there, all the way round, and because I was climbing the rocks.
Yeah, but the white line is very strange.
Yeah, from the shorts.
I don't know. It's like that. It's so strange that if you are walking, you keep like a white line.
I know.
You know?
I was wearing these swimming shorts.
Yeah, but you are burnt right below,
Yeah.
and then you are not burnt something like in here or something
Yeah.
like that. In
Yeah.
both legs.
Yeah.
So it looks like you fell asleep, and there was a shade right there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I was thinking the tree. You are working with trees, and I have a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a pain. It is a pain. Anyway, that's life. But yeah, I do love running over these rocks. It's good fun.
God, that's crazy. I don't do anything like that anymore. I almost killed myself, and that's one of the reasons I'm here. That was 6 years ago, and I was visualizing myself living in Kotao.
Okay.
I didn't know what Kotao was. I know that I was working in a diving center, and I thought maybe I can go there, but it was pretty famous at that time. And then visualizing myself, I had this accident,
Oh my goodness.
and I was living in Alicante. I was 1 week in the hospital, and I had a lot of time to feel, not to think. I don't think,
Yeah.
to feel things, and I was feeling more alive than ever in my life, being in bed.
Yeah.
Being in bed in a horrible moment. My family was there. I was near Benidorm.
Okay.
My family went on holidays. It was Easter, and I was in the hospital, and my family visiting my family, and I was there, and I couldn't be with them. And I felt the most alive in my life.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Gran Canaria because of all the connection and everything. I changed my mind, and I wanted to come here because of the weather and scuba diving.
Yeah.
In Gran Canaria, I can have the same thing.
Yeah.
My brother was in the north, so I moved there. 4 years later, I completely forgot about
Yeah.
Thailand story. 4 years later, I started feeling something from Thailand.
Yeah.
And then I told the people I met in Gran Canaria at the beach, my name is Jesus. I said, the Jesus you are meeting now, the Jesus you know here in Gran Canaria, is this one with the scar. But there was another Jesus who killed himself in the same accident. He broke because I fell from the rock. I landed on a slippery rock with both legs, and then boom, I was up in the air. Boom!
Shit.
I was lucky enough to put my left
Yeah,
hand.
to take the risk.
I broke my ligaments, and the vibration broke the head of the radius. So I was never going to be able to do this anymore. They said only till here.
Okay, so
But
you
I was
prove them wrong.
working out
Yeah,
a lot.
you just keep working. Yeah.
And then they realized that the broken ligaments, they realized 5 months later, because I was complaining. I finished the rehabilitation here, and this was still broken, so starting again. I was telling them, and they were like laughing at me. Okay, no problem. So this is the Jesus that you are meeting.
Yeah.
But there was another one who died because of another one who broke his back and he's on a wheelchair, and another one that didn't have the accident,
Yeah.
and he moved to Kotao.
Okay.
And there are infinite ones,
Yeah.
but I was giving just these 4 examples. So 2 years ago I started getting the message from Kotao. From I don't know where, I'm not so concrete with details. There are no details. I felt that I had to come here for a reason.
Yeah.
And then I organized something that I felt that like 2 years ago, and then 1 year ago, less than 2 years, and 1 year I decided, and I organized and everything. But in between 1 year and ago, and I finished preparing, I kept receiving higher signals. Signals that they were not abstract. The first ones were completely abstract, just with myself, but the other ones were other people with myself. Like through YouTube, Instagram, things like that. And my trip was getting wider, and deeper, both. And I didn't know. So 6 years ago, I was thinking of coming here, but it was going to be a completely different me.
Yeah.
It was not the one who created all these other dimensions, you know what I mean? So when I came here, I came like getting these dimensions, and for me the dimensions is like matroska. One dimension is here, the other one is here, the other one, because one dimension has to be inside the other. There is no one and here, because it's the same dimension when you put them in the same dimension. It has to be something that conceptually we cannot even imagine, so it's more complex than the matroska, you know what I mean? So it can never be one dimension here, another one here, and another one here, no, because all of them belong to the same dimension. As long as you can group them in one pattern and concept, they are the same dimension.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it has to be conceptually something like the matroska, 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 matroska. You know what I mean? So once you have the last one, you don't need the other ones because this one contains all of them.
All of them, yeah. Clever.
So you can access just to that one.
Because quantum physics is a
Yeah,
strange
yeah,
one, isn't it?
yeah.
Quantum mechanics.
I discovered quantum physics reading a newspaper in London Underground,
Yeah.
and it was quite hard. I
It
already
is hard. It is hard to
yeah, when
comprehend.
you study the physics, but I'm living in quantum world,
Yeah.
so I'm not studying that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just getting the names of what I'm living.
Yeah.
What I feel, what happens in my life, I can feel it, and I can find now a sentence that defines what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I recommend you quantum physics for hippies.
Okay.
It explains in a very easy way,
Yeah.
vague, and maybe you get connected to that in your way. You know, I recommend it to many different people
Yeah.
for many different reasons, and of course the movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once,
Okay. I don't know that one.
because this movie is talking about everything I told you,
Yeah.
but this movie is newer than everything I've been doing in my life.
Okay.
But it's talking about everything I'm telling you all the time.
Yeah.
Once you watch that movie,
Yeah.
if you connect with what I told you in the whole conversation, you will see that everything I'm telling you is in that movie, but that movie is only 1 year old.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I'm talking, all my friends, they said, you saw this movie before. This movie is from this year. So either I connect with the creator 10 years ago or whatever, and there were many good cases. I was thinking of a friend. I said, you have to watch this movie.
Yeah.
It was in August, last August. The movie was new in the cinemas, but I downloaded illegally,
Yeah.
and she watched it legally at home because she works for cinema, her family, so they have access to all the movies with a link.
Yeah.
So I am at home watching the movie, August, the movie is still in the cinema, she's at home, and I sent her a message, you have to watch this movie. And she says, can you believe I'm watching it right now? And I said, yes, of course, because otherwise I wouldn't have connected with you right now. You know, I would be watching the movie and then I will tell you later. But if I send it now, it's because I felt it now, you know? And she was thinking about me because the movie is about all the things that I'm telling her.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, my life is like that all the time. Not with the trees, but with the people and with the situation.
That's brilliant. It's good to be in tune.
That's why I ask you if there is any science, because if there is a science, I'm not interested. But if it is created by you, that's why I ask, are you the creator? And you say, yes. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. But it's very random world I live in. Very random.
Yeah, just like mine.
Yeah. I was here probably about 24, 26 years ago.
That was me. I wanted to, today I was thinking I need to meet a Thai person and ask how was this before the tsunami.
Well, for me, I don't know where I was on the island, but it was.
But the visibility was better. The visibility was better before the tsunami. All this water is like murky like that because of something. Do you remember?
Yeah, I can't remember I remember where you're going to PP. I remember the visibility there and Koh Lanta, which is
Koh Lanta
beyond.
is here.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
Koh
are-
Lanta, yeah. Sorry, Koh Sarin. There's another island off Koh
And
Sarin.
how was the visibility?
I seem to remember the visibility was good.
And now?
It's not good here, but here is good. So where
No, it's worse. It's horrible everywhere. I've been everywhere.
today there were.
I've been from here till Relax Bay,
Okay.
almost everywhere, and then I discovered bamboo. No bamboo. There is one right before bamboo. You don't see anything, but there are lots of motorcycles there. And then you go down. I went there yesterday after a cave. I went to a cave first. So it was a wonderful day because it was inside the earth.
Yeah.
Jungle inside the earth.
Yeah.
An entrance that you would never find if you don't go with the guide.
Yeah.
He said, it's here. I said, where? I see many holes. I said, where is the cave in here? And then I decided to keep going to the south and found this beach by luck.
Yeah. And that was good. That's good.
It was very good, and I saw 2 lobsters.
Oh, good.
So it was amazing. And then monkeys came to the beach, and they were aggressive, and I was protecting 2 girls because they were trying to steal, and they get aggressive, but they don't attack you. They get aggressive because they want the people to go away. You leave the things, and then they take them.
Yeah, clever.
So I was there, and they didn't scare me. So I said, hey! And they were trying. There were 3 of them trying to attack me, but they go like, they get close. But if you don't move, they go backwards. But they say, this son of a bitch is not moving today. He's bigger than me. So, so I stayed there. They were not robbed, and they say thank you, Carlson.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's about behavior, and I like monkeys are my favorite animals, but these ones are behaving really nasty. I hate the way they behave because I've been with some wild monkeys, and they're not aggressive. They are robbers and thieves, but in a cool way. You are giving them something, and they hold the other hand, and if you have something, they do this, but they don't go. But this one, the thief, they are like this. They open their eyes. Oh my God! If you come here, I have to kick you because I'm not going to use my hands with those teeth, you know?
I've been in the forest in Africa and
Chimpanzees.
no baboons.
They are aggressive as well, right?
And they threw 2 stones at me.
Yeah.
That was
Sounds
that
like
was
a bit.
amazing.
You know, one of these trained monkeys for the coconuts, he killed the owner throwing the coconut to his head.
I can believe it. I can believe it. Yeah. They are crazy. When have you ever been off Africa diving?
No. Yeah, in the Red Sea.
Oh yes.
I went live abroad, live on board.
That would have been nice on a liveaboard. Yeah.
It's a little bit too much
Yeah.
because 4 dives every day,
Oh yeah.
and
that's
the
bad for
first
your body.
the first was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah.
then night dive. I love all the night dives.
Yeah.
But the first dive, it was not enough light to film, and then the second dive was in the same place. So the second dive is always better, but I want to be in the first one just in case everybody see all the sharks and everything. I am sleeping, you know.
Yeah.
So I just went there, but never the first white dive. I could have avoided them all the time because it was like the second, but second was more beautiful because better light.
Yeah.
When the sun was down, everything down, all the red colors, you don't see them, you don't see the yellows, everything is purple, blue and green. And then 2 hours later, okay, now I see the colors. So it was like a little bit too many. Well, almost nobody did all the diving. Somebody said, I'm not doing this, I'm not. But my group of people, we came from Germany. We were 6 people, and in total we were 20 divers. But the 6 people were my group, my friends. So none of them skipped any. Well, only one stopped diving because he had many problems with ears and dizziness, and he couldn't dive anymore. But the rest, we didn't skip any. And if I skip one and the rest of the group sees everything, you know, and I have the camera, I was the only one with the camera, I felt.
With going back to the past, when I was here all those years ago, we were in a marine reserve, and we paid somebody to take us out because we wanted to dive with sharks, snorkel with sharks. And he took us out, and there were a load of reef sharks. I think they were white tip and black tip.
Black tips for sure.
Yeah, and they were
Maybe white as well.
Yeah, this was a long time ago, and they've been fishing with dynamite. They were dynamite fishing, and the sharks were And I think this has affected a lot of the coral because they've used a lot of dynamite.
Of course.
And I noticed a lot of destruction. So I think that has been a big problem.
But some of the destruction also maybe the tsunami. When because the wave, the tide went away like more than 1 kilometer, and then a huge wave came. So imagine, everything for 1.5 kilometers was completely destroyed.
Yeah. But I think it would have recovered. I would have thought there would have been. There wouldn't be the slime on the rocks as there is. There wouldn't. I think. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, some coral survive, of course.
Yeah.
Because some of corals like
It's
over
still-
here,
there's the
they are probably the smallest one maybe is 100 years old.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
So the big ones they are like 2 million, 3 million.
But I think that it's been over-exploited. I think that's been one of the biggest problems. When I was here last, they had not as many boats, but they were squid fishing just like they are now.
Last
all those years.
first day I was here, there was a child coming from there with a small boat,
Yeah.
stopping here, and he had like 10.
Yes,
Squid,
squid.
it's a
Yeah, I
squid,
think I saw this. Yeah.
You saw it?
Yeah. He was only. He looked very young, but he got it himself. He took it. He was drilling.
You
I
took
was
a
up
picture?
there. No.
Did you come and take a picture?
No, the other guy did.
Ah.
The guy I was with, the couple that
Oh
I was
yeah,
chatting
yeah. I
to.
remember. I was there. I was
Yeah,
I was
you were
filming
down
it,
there, yeah.
and then this guy came,
Yeah.
and I was filming it, and they said that it's, I forgot. 1,000 baht per kilo.
Okay, that's about
Yeah, it was a great amount of money just going outside with the nature. You know, you are going there, and the Mother Earth give you this, and you say, here, you are 1,000 baht, exchanging.
Because when I was going around the rocks, there was a man who caught lots of squid, and I asked him how much is he going to get for them. He first said 20 baht, and then he said 200 baht for a bag of squid. So maybe they charge it that amount, but they fishermen
Maybe.
would not. Probably.
Maybe they are charging here. Maybe.
Because
Maybe it is the same. They don't pay anything. They get.
Yeah.
So that's the real
Yeah.
the real economy.
Yeah.
Because in the other, all the intermediates, they are getting money, and you are paying the price to feed many other people. In here, you're paying the price to feed one people. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, today was interesting. I just had a clam. I found a clam and they cooked it for me. And I
A
ate
big
it.
one.
Little one. But they cooked it, but I found a fish out there that was being caught in one of the nets. So I gave it to the people that were picking.
It was dead. The fish
It
was
dead,
dead.
yeah. But as a joke, I came back and put it in my pocket, and covered it with my fins, and I said, pulled it out and put it on the table.
The fish.
Just before I saw you, because I went snorkeling and came back in, and I found actually 2 clams, and I gave one to the people that were looking for clams. But the clam was very nice, tasted good.
You ate it, and then you came with the fish.
After I ate it, I came with the fish first, and then I went back out and gave it to them because nobody wanted the fish. So I gave it to them because they looked like they were looking for food.
How are you so crazy?
And then I found 2 clams, gave them one, kept one, and put it
You are
in.
as crazy as I am. I was wondering if you are as crazy as me, but you are. Sometimes you are crazier than me.
I've done some crazy things. I've had wild elephants eat down my hand. I've had a
Yeah.
whale shark push me to one side with its tail.
I have a beautiful video with an elephant, touching it, looking at her eye.
Brilliant, golden.
She came, and I was touching, and I didn't know I was being filmed by a friend, a Chinese friend I met in Chiang Mai, and we went together to this excursion, and I was touching the head and looking at the eye,
Beautiful.
and then, because she was following us, she came, and then, in the video you can feel the energy, the calm, and then the elephant moved the head, so I could see the other eye, because it's so big, one eye here, the other here, and then I was seeing, and I had the eye contact with the other eye, and then she moved, and then with the other eye, and you can see how I'm touching her, and she's moving, and I am like connecting with one eye and the other, and you can feel this
I totally
energy.
agree. They're amazing.
Yeah.
The one I had, I was lucky. I was working in Africa on the Lower Zambezi. I was doing some conservation structures. Anyway, long story. But there was this elephant that the locals, it was a big male, and the locals were tormenting it. And I banned them from tormenting it. No catapults or anything. And I could see that it wanted these pods, lucky beans, but we had built these walkways and we would block its access to what it would want to eat. So I got the people with me to gather these and we put it on the walkway. And this massive, massive elephant, it was in musk, it was a big male, ate the pods, went away, but then it remembered me and it just used to hang around where I was working. And on one occasion, these tourists came down on kayaking, maybe 8 or 9 of them, and they came up onto the shore because they probably thought this elephant was tame because they saw it near me. And the elephant, it put its head down, its eyes went down, and it was about to charge them, and they would not have been able to get back onto the water and go.
Yeah.
So I thought, what do I do? So I grabbed some pods from an umbrella pool, and I was on this big deck, and I went, come on boy, and this wild elephant turned around and came to me, and it took the pods and ate them out of my hand, 100% wild, and they were busy taking photos, and it calmed, and then after eating this, it walked away, and it didn't consider them a threat, but because of the poaching on the water, it wanted to protect itself, because we came across a lot of dead elephants, where they had shot them with machine guns.
Just to get the teeth.
It's horrible. The ivory, terrible. So at least this one was safe when we were there anyway.
And I think I saw you also at the restaurant when I was having dinner,
Yeah,
and there were 4 probably Russian girls,
yeah.
and you started talking with them. No, it's the same guy. I was,
Were they
you know,
Russian?
this restaurant
Yeah,
by the
up
road,
street.
by the road,
Yeah, up
the
there on
Muslim
the-
restaurant.
Yeah. I eat
They
there
are
a lot.
family. They are family of where I'm staying.
Oh, are they?
I'm staying with Hayati Boat.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they were Russian.
They are family.
Oh, yes.
So they send me there, and every day I'm having dinner there.
Yeah, it's good. Then.
And there were 4 Russian girls,
Yeah.
and I was sitting down in the next table,
Oh,
and you
yes,
came
yes,
here,
yes,
and you came here, and you were here.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
know what you were talking about with them because I was having like
Yes.
the same guy, and now the same guy, and the same girl. Is it
Yes.
all the time you?
You were sitting at the front on the right hand side, and you were facing the hammock area rather
Yes.
than
Yeah, because there were many mosquitoes on the other side, so I was facing the mosquitoes. I was sitting down on the other side, but then I changed.
Yeah, made sense. Having the fan helps.
So you thought that I am looking at the outside, but because normally you would sit down on the other side, and I sat down before there, but all the mosquitoes were there, so I moved, and then the man put the fan from there, sending the mosquitoes away.
Because I very nearly came down and sat opposite you.
Yeah, yeah, so small.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Two crazy guys
Yeah.
being close all the time and never having a conversation, a
Yeah.
crazy conversation.
Now we've had it.
What is your name?
Martin.
Martin.
And you?
My name is Jesus. It's like Jesus.
Yeah. You're the first.
I am the last, maybe the last. Because after me, the rest of the people can name any name they want to.
Oh, really?
Martin can be like Jesus,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can be Martin, you are Jesus already. You know what I mean? By doing so with the earth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
But your name is incredible.
yeah, but everybody's that because Jesus Christ didn't exist. It's only a concept. It's a good concept that once you connect with that, you become of that. You know what I mean? So you don't need to be named Jesus or Jesus. You can be Martin doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, because you are not seeing it from a higher perspective than Jesus, because Jesus didn't exist. It's a concept created from Hinduism and before.
Well,
All these things have been,
somebody existed.
all these times have been recycled, and probably none of them, absolutely none of them was true. It's the desire. Of course, Buddha was not a guy sitting down like this all the time, you know. Some people are telling this story because they found that it was more comfortable for them.
Yeah.
And then there was another one reclinating and say, okay, you can meditate also like that, and you can meditate walking. Okay, you can meditate whatever you want to do, because it's not a matter of the position, it's a matter of connecting with this cloud that I was telling you.
It's interesting the different things like the phases. Fat Buddha, the one where he's very skinny.
Yeah.
In different countries.
And in Vietnam there is a feminine one, a female woman, a female Buddha.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. In Angkor Wat, that was, I know that's created not by Buddhists, but by Hindus, wasn't it? Angkor Wat.
Yeah, Hindu.
Khmer.
It's Hindu.
But there's one temple built just by women that I saw. Have you been around the temple? No. It's very,
No, I haven't been to Cambodia, but I've been
Very touristy
I've been
now.
in many temples in
Yeah.
everywhere now, especially Bangkok and Chiang Mai,
yeah.
and then I reduced again because it was too much.
I know what you mean.
I love Watarum in Bangkok for the sunset. You know, this sunset, beautiful by the river.
Yeah.
I've been there several times. That's my favorite picture because of the river, the sun, and the Watarum, and also the structure is different from the rest of them.
Oh, what was it? I was in Laos one time, and I was somewhere Battambang up in the north, and it was fascinating seeing the Buddhists there. They had a big festival. So many, I mean, there were so many, but it was just fascinating, interacting and just talking and understanding. Yeah, it was a good crack.
Cool.
But watching, when I've been in Bangkok, the begging bowls, where they go out early in the morning.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
No.
They go out like 5:30, 6, and they go barefoot. They go
Barefoot.
barefoot in Bangkok. Probably from your temple, from your
No, because I was not in Bangkok. I was in Chiang Mai.
in Chiang Mai.
Right.
So they do it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chiang Mai. Did you get to Pai?
Yeah.
I love Pai. I've been 3 times. I love it.
I like it. I like the town. I don't like the posh ideology of how people are creating the concept of pie. I didn't interact with most of the people because the people who I interact, they're so funny because it's like everybody's into meditation, everybody has a very small ego, so it's like a championship of who's got less ego. You know what I mean? So once you create the championship, as long as some people are getting in, they are automatically eliminated, right? And that's how I feel the pie is. But I like pie, not connecting with this kind of people. Everything was amazing. There was a beautiful fire show. Very beautiful.
Oh, speaking of fire shows, they sometimes happen.
Yeah, I went there the other day, but the waiter here told me it's at 9, and they finish at 8:30.
Oh, no.
It was only on Wednesdays. I went with my camera. I wanted to take two type of creative pictures. One is with the flash, and with the flash you get the real picture. Plus, if it is low exposure, you have the real, and then something behind. And that was one. And the other one is with no flash, also even a slower exposure, slower. So it's like 1 second, and maybe you can see the whole circle or things like that. I wanted to do both, with flash, without flash. I came with everything, and the guy here said, yeah, 9. And I went there, and it was from 7:30 till 8:30.
So you say it's only Wednesdays?
Only Wednesdays, yeah. And I was only one Wednesday here. I'm leaving on Tuesday.
That's annoying. It's possible though, if there's a wedding or some ceremony, they may do it anyway.
God, I'm hungry now. It was a lovely sunset. Lovely sunset.